Hey guys, welcome back to Vinceville Custom. So today I'm sharing with you an Xmen Banshee kit that I'll be putting together for a friend of mine. Now I'm not sure if he's actually making copies of this or if this is one of his one-of-a-kinds. I'm not really sure. If he does do a reply in the video, I'll pin it so this way if anyone's interested they could probably grab one. But like I said, I don't know. Sometimes he does some that are up for grabs that he sells copies, and sometimes he doesn't. So I'm not really sure. He's got so many he's working on, I'm at a loss. But it was sculpted by AVAY Sculptor, and it was done by Panda Lee as a print. Now, I'm not sure if this is the 3D print or if it is a casting. I think it is the 3D print, and it is actually a really good print. But the body is hollow. And what I'm going to be doing is I got to order a batch of, freeform air. And I have to fill this in with some freeform air because I don't really know if this resin can handle a pour of resin, only because just kind of holding it a bit, it might be too thin and it might warp. But I think if I cut this up a bit enough up here and then like over here in the legs, I can actually get a lot of freeform air in here, and I think it should work pretty good. So I'm not really too worried about that as much, only because I think after looking at this, like this head goes in here. I was thinking of putting a magnet in this head, but the problem is the way this fits in here, like if you were to pop this in and out, you might scrape up the paint. So I think this is going to be one of those items where I just got to clean this up a little bit, and then I'll just glue this in at the end so the head will be attached. Yeah, it kind of scrapes up a little bit, so we'll get that fixed up. As far as his hand here, this is something that's going to definitely be glued at the end. You know, put a couple drops of glue in here, and then just kind of glue that in and it'll be set. I just got to make sure the seam is a little bit better. So I got to just kind of seam that up a little bit more. Now his other hand has the pipe. This is the thing, I think this is the only thing I'm really going to magnetize on this item. Only because it's got that pipe and I'm worried about that breaking. Especially if you ever have to pack them, move them, ship, or whatever. You don't want anything to go. So I just got to get some, I got to Dremel in. Well, it's actually got a hole for a magnet already. I didn't even realize it. So there is a hole in there for a magnet. So what I'll do is I'll put a magnet in there, and then I'll put a magnet in here, and this should go pretty good. It's just I'm going to have to kind of make sure the seam's pretty good on that. I mean, it is Banshee. It's a really good sculpt. I really don't know the character that well, but the head sculpt is awesome. I really, really like the head sculpt. It's a really good, really good. It's got that old school feel to it, so he did a great job on the head. So it's going to be a lot of fun to paint up. So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty straightforward. You know, you got your feet that are going to go in there. So, I think what I'm going to do... Yeah, it's got magnets, holes in there, but I'm not going to magnetize this. What I think I'm going to do is... I'm going to Dremel a hole in here somewhere, like right here. And I'm going to try to get a lot of freeform air in here, if I can. I'm going to really try to get a lot of freeform air in there. And then at least put a rod in here or something, so this way it's really set. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's a little bit more secure. So we'll do that. Now, one of the other things, though, is I think the whole downside of the whole kit that I'm doing is the base. It's kind of weird that this part is, like, thick. At least I think it's thick. But these parts in here are, like, paper thin. Like, really, if you put your hand in here, it's, like, thinner than, it's actually, like, this thin. It's, like, that thin. Like, you see how thin this, plastic is, like right here, it's like that thin. So this actually scares me a little bit. Now I don't have any freeform air with me right now. I got to order some, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some Aves. I'm going to put Aves around this key, and I'm going to put Aves around this key in here, because I think if I put magnets in here, or however I feel, if I need to put a rod or whatever, there's not enough meat here, and it actually kind of scares me. Because like, say, you know, you have it on your collection shelf, you're not paying attention, and maybe a head or a hand from another statue you're cleaning falls off and it hits this part right here. I mean, it sounds like it could just break right through it. I'm afraid to push this through, but if I get some freeform air and I shove a bunch of freeform air in here and here and over and here and here, then afterwards I can use some Bondo and level it all out, and then I won't be as worried and concerned about this. So that's what I'm going to do for him and get that all set up. This right here, it looks like it's got some weird... I don't know what this stuff is. Must be part of the print. Like, why I don't know. Sometimes, like with these 3D prints, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm thinking this is actually hollow, but they filled it with gel. Maybe that's what it is? I don't know. We're going to learn. Going to learn to see how everything is happening. So, yeah. Yep, it seems this was filled in with some kind of clay or something. So, maybe this was all hollow in here and they filled this in. Maybe this is what... Yeah, it's all soft. So, you know what I'm going to do? I got to wash this all down with some alcohol. Just because if there's any kind of like residue and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks like this is gelled up a little bit too. Interesting. So, I guess what they did is... They 3D printed this, but then I guess they injected a gel or some kind of clay into here, and they filled this in, but they didn't fill this in. They might have done the same thing with the feet too, but not the body. That's kind of weird. You think they would have done the body though, but that's why this feels so heavy, because they injected some kind of clay in here. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm going to go in the garage, I'm going to Dremel out a little area here and here. I'm going to grab some Bondo and Bondo that in, because this looks like this will deteriorate over time maybe. Just like me just hitting that. So if you have it on your shelf and then you pick up your shelf one day, this stuff might over time start like flaking and coming out like dust. So we're going to seal that in. That is pretty interesting. So this piece, yeah, I'm going to do this too a little bit too. Dremel that out and put some A's or something there. Because the head feels heavy. The feet feel heavy. The arms feel heavy, but yeah, they might have that gel in there too. That's interesting. Well, I guess we learn something every time from different people. So, but this is what scares me the most. Now, I do have that Durham's putty stuff, but I feel Durham's putty won't work good with this because that is so paper thin. I think this needs something better, like some kind of a polyurethane, which is like freeform air almost, or Aves. So yeah, I'm going to thicken this up with some Aves, thicken this up with Aves, and afterwards I'll throw a whole bunch of freeform air in when I get this. I'll sand this and get this nice and smooth. And then from there, I'll be able to paint the base and make sure he's secured. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Really good sculpt. AVY Sculptor did a great job. Real good anatomy. It's got the old school feel. There's not much more to it than I think the head sculpt is probably the best part of the whole entire item. It's got a really unique look to him. It's got that old school feel. So yeah. That is the Banshee kit. Let me know what you guys think. Pretty good sculpt. Like I said, if it is something for available, my friend will post in the chat a comment and let people know. If not, it's a one of a kind and it's just for him. So there you go. That is the Banshee kit. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos.